What's good, everyone? This is DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need and represent New Media Nation United. Hope you guys are having a good day. So let's cut the chase. Today's topic is about the buffoonery we saw today, well, most of us saw today on ESPN's The Jump, while praising LaMelo Ball and giving him his props for once. Rachel Nichols and her red-headed buffoonish self had to bring up Lavar, had to sneak diss him, talking about him being in all the shows, taking up all the spotlight, pretty much calling him an attention whore. Now, we do know that Lavar, he likes the camera. He likes the showtime, but he's a family man. He's a man that loves his family. Is he perfect? No, but who cares? This is the same league that will prop up single mothers who were former addicts or got around. The energy is not the same when it's with black fathers, black men in general. Rachel Nichols and her stooges continue to berate and poke fun of Lavar because Lavar, no matter what they say, is a busy man. He's trying to rebuild his brand. He's trying to take care of things that are off the court, quote unquote. But you won't hear it because ESPN has an agenda. And before I finish on, I will have my brother Revolution Radio, aka Rev, speak the gospel today.
Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Nation United. Shout out to the president, DJ. This is all brought to you by DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. Ain't nothing changed. I know earlier we were joking a lot and having a good time. Enjoying each other, all of us in here, enjoying Lonzo's game. But the tone of this show is going to be more serious because this is a more serious issue. One of our brothers was on the channel last week and he was saying that it's wise to stop speaking about old media and to just not focus on it and just focus on new media. I respectfully disagree with that. Because when you waking people up out of the matrix, you can't afford not to educate. And when you got a platform like DJ has, you know what I'm saying? When you have a platform the way that he has, it is our job, anybody that comes on this panel, and he's leading this, to be servants to the people as well. I know we joke a lot. I know we kid a lot. I know we, have a good time, but in service, you have to educate. And it would be unwise for us to turn a blind eye to ESPN and turn a blind eye to Fox Sports and to turn a blind eye to The Ringer and to turn a blind eye to all of these outlets that brainwash the masses of people. The masses of people. They can't understand it's a problem with it until they understand why it's a problem with it. Tonight, we're not going to play no games. We're going to let you know unequivocally the games that they have played with the Ball family, the separation that some of y'all complain about, and each brother's independent struggle. Because what I'm getting sick of, and this is me saying this, I don't want this to be a reflection on my brother. My brother can speak for himself. These young men have independent struggles that they have to deal with. And we don't take that in consideration enough. Yes, they have a family struggle because they are a family. They're a beautiful family. But they also have independent struggles that we take for granted. So tonight, this is about to be a full-on barbecue. Let's rock, DJ.
Perfectly said. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Johnny Cat says LaVar sent 3 kids into the lottery. Jello got a contract. Eli Scott, Elijah Harkless are projected to go in the NBA. He's obviously doing something right. That's 6 kids he's coached personally. Well, the media won't talk about it. They want him to be the loudmouth father instead of picturing him as the father who helps not only his kids, but people around him. I warned you guys about the anti-fatherhood agenda that ESPN is perpetuating. They're brainwashing people. Now you have people saying LaVar is too controlling, and they'll bring up LaVar, and LaVar's not even doing anything. You realize that, Rev? He's not even in
Yes, sir.
radio waves, and they still mentioning him. Warriors fans, not all. Every time you bring up that they should have had LaMelo, they will say, but what about LaVar? What about him? He hasn't been doing anything. But I realize a lot of fans in basketball, not just fans, but executives, coaches, they're too emotional. You can have all that money, you can have all the wealth, but if you have beta male energy, you tend to not accept dominance. I'm proud of LaMelo Ball because despite all the hatred he's received, the doubt, he's proven a lot of people on. And when a lot of other folks try to lie, not lie, but exaggerate, saying that LaMelo has it easier. No, he doesn't. He has to keep performing. Because if LaMelo doesn't perform, ESPN, NBA TV, and any other buffoon network is going to hate on him. He knows this. That's why he's playing at 99 miles per hour every time he's on the court. He has to put on a show every day. He knows that if he comes up short and has an off game, a really bad game, he's going to be hearing about it.
It's a tragedy and it's a travesty. For those of you who did not watch The Jump and don't know what we're talking about, and let me turn my TV down because I'm doing some film study on the Sacramento Kings right now. But for those that don't know what we're talking about, Rachel Nichols of The Jump and that trash organization, that trash company that is ESPN, they basically did what they've been doing a lot lately with Melo. If they give him a compliment, they give him a compliment, but they give him an underhanded compliment to make him seem like a buffoon. Now, for those of you who watch boxing, they used to do this a lot with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder would knock somebody out, and they would almost treat it like it was a freak show. Oh, well, he's wild. He doesn't have form. He doesn't have technique. So what they do with LaMelo hit 7 threes, and they'll start the video off saying, but his shot is so ugly. His mechanics are it's hard to look at, but hey, it's falling. Well, today, after a man hit 7 threes, ESPN is more astute than the lowly YouTube channels or the older networks that don't know how to work YouTube or do proper marketing. Sports Illustrated. The magazine is dying. That hasn't been relevant since 1996. ESPN is more astute on how to attack and split up a family. So today, they paint the picture of LaMelo Ball as Michael Corleone from The Godfather. It's so deep and so sick and so cynical what they did. They painted LaVar Ball as a controlling father who basically never gave LaMelo a chance to live his own life. Never did anything for LaMelo or Lonzo or LiAngelo, really was just doing it for himself. They placed Lonzo Ball as the brother that basically flamed out. which would be Santino Corleone. And without saying anything about Jello, they painted Jello as Fredo. See, this is why you got to educate about old media. Because if you're not in tune with a double entendre or in tune with metaphors, your child can be watching that and don't even understand what they're seeing. So they painted this narrative and basically said, well, just because his father is like this, he's still, in spite of his father, he still is having one of the most exciting years as a rookie. So now what that does is it drives a wedge between him and his father. That's cancerous. We never heard that with Peyton Manning's father, Archie Manning, when he was all in the videos on some Suge Knight, on some P. Diddy stuff, telling Eli Manning not to go to the San Diego Chargers. They said he was doing his job as a father. They said he knew the business. So why, when it comes to LaVar Ball, you have to compare him to a psychopath on a gangster movie? See, these are the kind of games that they play. And we're going to dive deep today. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's difficult to gauge what you should and should not say. But one thing I will not be in America is a black man that's bullied by somebody saying something about the race card. You got the wrong one for that. So tonight, we're going to go deep and we're going to get into this. DJ, what do you think about that Rachel Nichols segment, brother?
I think she was very senile, brother. And you could see it in her evil eyes. Rachel Nichols is the type of woman who passes as an innocent, smiley redhead that doesn't mean no harm. But her words are very dangerous because it's anti-blackness, it's anti-culture, and she's sticking to the ESPN status quo. This is why new media is so important. I'm not just speaking from what I believe. I speak for the brothers and sisters who believe in unity, truth, justice, as well as realness. That's why we're here. For those who have jumped into the chat, Rachel Nichols from the jump was talking about LaMelo Ball in a good way. And then she reverted to attack Lavar. Now, Lavar has been quiet this whole time, hasn't really been on the media waves. The only thing he said was weeks ago about LaMelo should be the starter, which everybody knows he wasn't wrong in. And she pretty much insinuated that Lavar is nothing but a clout chaser and a fame-hungry dad. It's funny. Rev pointed out Archie Manning. When Archie Manning did that trade for Eli, when he helped him and his agent to get Eli away from the Chargers, everyone said that, wow, Archie Manning, he's a supportive father. He's a supportive dad. I wish all dads could be like Archie Manning. LaVar Ball doesn't request a trade. He could have accepted that his son is going to Charlotte. The media is saying when he got drafted, LaVar's not smiling enough. LaVar is such about him and not about his son. You see the narratives? It doesn't fit.
Honestly, man, I really got to put my words together in the right way because I want this to hit. And when it hits, I want it to stick. And I want it to stick in your conscience. I'm going to go ahead and say something I've been wanting to say on this channel for a while. I say it on Twitter a lot because my Twitter is not a reflection of my brother or anybody that's a part of this community. So the rev you get on Twitter is what you would probably get if you join the membership and you get the private live streams that DJ is talking about. Brother, I'm not saying all white males are the ones that have perpetrated this lie about LaVar Ball, or this lie about Joe Jackson, or this lie about the Black Father. But I will say, if you think that a white male was not the cause of it, you need to study J. Edgar Hoover. And you need to look up COINTELPRO. And you need to look up the fear of the Black Messiah. Now, I say that to say this. I was born in 1991. And I am a remnant of those people that came before me in the 80s who dealt with Reaganomics, who dealt with certain movements that was pushing the Black father out of the household. As a child growing up, every movie I saw was painting a picture of a Black father who was terrible, a Black father that was beating his wife, a Black father that was not home, a Black father who left his kids, or Black men being all cheaters, waiting to excel and things of that nature. Color Purple, a horror movie. A lot of people call it a classic. I call it a horror movie. Every Black male on that movie is either a sucker or a woman beater. That's the remnants of what I grew up in. Now, in this present day, brothers who have recovered from the prison industrial complex and have recovered from Reaganomics and have recovered from the crack epidemic. I'm gonna tell it like it is tonight. They are in the homes. They are being great fathers. They are being great role models. They are being great mentors. That's why when I go on Twitter or when I look on old media, the majority of the people with negative things to say, and I'm saying this, my brother is not saying this, he can speak for himself, are middle-aged white males. There's a video right now on ESPN, and they left that crap up. And I'm going to go in with Jason Williams, who sat there soft toe tapping, talking about Melo the entire draft process. Whenever Mike Schmitz, who is a white male, like I said, shout out to the real ones. I didn't say it was all white men, but who was a white male who gave Melo his props, who went to Australia and did the right thing, which is actually scout the kid and sit down and spend time with him. After Mike Schmitz would go on Jay Williams' show and give Melo these props, Jay Williams would regurgitate the same old media narratives. He sat there today on an ESPN show that I don't even know what the name of it is or care to know because it's that trash. As this middle-aged white male sat there and said, well, I always knew Melo was going to be good. I always knew he was going to have game because I watched him in high school. But the one thing that really stands out to me, that really gets on my nerves, is the fact that in pre-draft interviews, he had the nerve to have one-word answers. And I said to myself, don't be that guy. Don't be arrogant. So hold on. Y'all know why they like Anthony Edwards? I told you it's going to get deep tonight. They like Anthony Edwards because Anthony Edwards is a personality they're used to seeing. And this ain't no shot at Anthony Edwards. This is just that brother's spirit coming out. He comes from a soulful people. He's funny. He's charming. But see, the media use that kind of individual to exploit you because now that's entertainment. That's tap dancing. Like when he showed up to the press conference with the Popeye chicken box. They love that kind of stuff. But see, when LaMelo came in during the pre-draft interviews and remembered all of the stuff that him and his family went through when Lonzo came into the league and said, I'm not going to give y'all anything. I'm not going to give you any bulletin board material because I remember when Jeff Goodman tag team and followed my family to Lithuania and treated us like dirt and came back and made my draft stock drop because he wrote hit pieces about me. So when he got in the meeting with those teams, when he got in the meeting with those reporters pre-draft, he did the right thing, which is what Marshawn Lynch does. I'm only here so I don't get fined. And they think for a black man to come from a strong black man and have the intelligence and the wisdom and understanding not to play the game their way, that's arrogant. But when Tom Brady or Bill Belichick stand in a press conference and give one word robotic answers, they say that's stoic. We're going to cook tonight.
Powerful, Rev. Powerful. See, you get what you subscribe to, and that's New Media Nation United. We are a nation united. We're here to build brothers up. We're going to keep growing, and you're going to get all of your popcorn today because I'm about to cook. So it's funny. I saw that same interview that Rev sent me about this low-level show on ESPN, not The Jump, but some rinky-dink show. And this white guy was talking about LaMelo, and I thought he was arrogant. It's good to know his teammates love him. I'm getting a better perspective. So you thought LaMelo was arrogant because of his answers were short. No, LaMelo is smart because he remembered what you did to him. You ruined his reputation because you were mad at his father. You sullied his name. There were people who disrespected Tina Ball when she had a stroke the year that UCLA played Kentucky. I remember that. They said Lonzo got to suck it up and play through it. Lonzo's weak because he's worried about his mother that had a stroke. He just using it as an excuse because he got cooked by De'Aaron Fox. The media said it. The old media said this. That's excuses. They've said it. And you want to know why LaMelo wants short answers? For everyone that's listening that's from the media, you don't deserve any thought out, any long questions answered from LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is sending a middle finger to old media. Let me repeat that. LaMelo Ball is sending a middle finger to old media for what they have done to Lavar and the family. They vilified the family. They have disrespected him. They took away his ranking out of high school. Rev, did you know that even though LaMelo averaged almost a triple-double in high school, he was ranked 24th?
Facts.
And to diss him, they put Big O, and respect to Big O, they put Big O rated higher than him. Just so they could say, oh, LaMelo, you're not the number one player out of California. You're number 2. And we're going to put you at 24 overall. So LaMelo Ball, keep doing what you're doing. F the media. I mean, old media, because new media has your back. New media will give you your flowers. New media will be objective, good or bad. We'll be consistent. As for Rachel Nichols, I've seen a lot of women like her. Not our sisters, because we love our queens, but these turncoat, snake-ass redheads who has benefited because of the game that brothers created, which is basketball. She's a vile woman. She has evil energy. I sense it when I watch TV. I said, this woman is sick. And this is the reason why I don't watch ESPN that much. I'd rather watch tennis or something than watch anything that comes on that dumb ass network. We going in today.
I had to sit up there doing the pre-draft process for 2 years with LaMelo Ball. I had to sit there and watch guys like Jay Billis, who was not good enough to cut it in the NBA. I had to sit up there and watch people like Skip Bayless, who averaged 0.1 points in high school or 2 points in high school. Tell me about LaMelo Ball's three-point percentage. Knowing if LaMelo played one of them in their primes in a pickup game, he would mop the floor with them. See, this is the game they play. Let's get deep. One of my favorite songs of all time, and for all of the brothers younger than me, or the brothers older than me, and sisters younger than me or older than me, I would tell you when the show is over, Go and stream this song directly. It's from an artist in the West Coast called Raz Kaz. It's called Soul on Ice. And he has a line that is forever relevant, and it's forever relevant to this topic. He said, a certain group of people run it, and ninjas just run in it. That's the problem. Lavar Ball was not down for just running in it. He wanted to run it. And too many of our athletes, too many of our politicians, too many of our influencers with these platforms, too many people who have a voice that can speak for us, instead of going against the grain, they assimilate to it and start trying to be just like what they're trying to take down. Because they say that's the way the game is played. But see, you can never truly gain freedom playing by the rules of the oppressor. The reason why LaVar Ball is so hated is because he was teaching his sons a ruling class mentality, but not a ruling class mentality in the way that this country has shown him. No, a ruling class mentality in the way, I'm going to put my boys on and then we're going to go to Compton and hand out turkeys. We're going to go to Compton in the middle of a pandemic and Inglewood and Crenshaw and hand out water. And yeah, Melo, I know you just signed a deal for $100 million with Puma, but we going back out here to the hood where I'm from, where your roots are from, and we're going to pass out this water. And we're not doing it on behest of Puma, and we're not doing it on behest of Nike. We're doing it on the behest of the company that I built for you and your brothers as a legacy. That's public enemy number one. But how many of you brothers and sisters jumped off the bandwagon and started to regurgitate? I'm not talking about objectivity. See, it's a fine line. It's a fine line between being objective and talking about people off of the court. It's a fine line of being objective and just hating because of what somebody who never played the game of basketball is telling you to think about a player. They talk about Lonzo's shot. They talk about Melo's shot. But they never really bring up Jello's shot. Why is that? Because they're looking for a reason to hate these brothers. They will laud Reggie Miller, who had one of the ugliest shots in the history of the game, but was one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the history of the game. Then turn around in the next breath, and Reggie Miller will tell you about how Lonzo's mechanics are unorthodox and ugly. This is what it is, man. Sports is a war for your mind. People don't spend marketing dollars. People don't spend money on nothing without a greater purpose. See, how is it that you have all these athletes, and this is what LaVar was trying to teach, and all of these athletes, or the majority of these athletes, come from certain backgrounds and from a certain ethnicity, but there are no owners. That's what Raz Kaz was saying. They run it, ends just running it. As long as you playing the game by their rules, you are always subject to the rules of their game. And whenever you start to play above the rules, if you're the owner of the game, what do? You just change the rules. And that's why with every accomplishment you see with LaMelo, they bring up another hurdle. Whenever you name LaMelo as the rookie of the year, they're going to throw a name out there. They want somebody else to get hot. When I'm not saying Anthony Edwards or Tyrese Halliburton or James Wiseman, I don't have anything personal against those brothers, but I understand that the media will push them to succeed, because if they succeed, it keeps the NCAA alive. If they succeed, it keeps the old plantation way alive. And I hope no one questions me about plantation basketball, because I've been a victim of plantation basketball, a 5-star basketball camp, of being ranked in my state, of being ranked in the nation. I know this entire game, that if you didn't go to one of the 4 big camps, then that could stop your ranking. I was watching a video, and I'm about to pass it to you, DJ. I was watching a video with Gilbert Arenas that made me want to throw up in my mouth. And the reason why it made me want to throw up in my mouth is because the real ones that hooped, y'all know what I'm saying is true. And we always wanted brothers with a platform when they're active in the league to speak up on these things, because there's a lot of guys that I'm sure the real hoopers know from their neighborhood that could have made it in the league. They got passed over because they weren't a part of the inside system. On this video, Gilbert Arenas is talking to the brother that used to play for the Chicago Bulls that LeBron James dunked over him when he was playing for the Miami Heat. He jumped over his head. Well, anyway, in this interview on this podcast, the brother speaks up. He's like, man, to be real with you, Gilbert, I mean, you know, the NBA is like, it's really not like that. It's really about the politics and who you know. The game is deeper than that. I was like, wow. So now we admitting it, and Gilbert Arenas admits to it. Then I'm watching Gilly the Kid's podcast, $1 Million Worth of Game, the other day, and Dame comes out and says the same thing. So then I say to myself, so when me and my brother DJ with New Media are on here teaching this stuff, and you have Shines that come in the chat and say, well, averaging 2 points in the NBA, that's good. When NBA All-Stars are admitting that some of these players get in based off playing it the safe route and saying it's not about how good you are. Dame said he wasn't ranked nowhere. He said all of these guys he was busting up in the NBA, he was busting them up in high school. But because he came from Oakland and came from a poor AAU background, he wasn't a part of that system. This system is about destroying old media, and that's what we're going to do tonight.
Bruh, right on the grill. Rev is cooking up a sermon. We got people supporting New Media on the collection plate. Shout out to Lion Shaquad for the donation on the Cash App. He says, got my support year to year. And he said he rather supports New Media than old media. That's real. That's what we're trying to do. Shout out to Wealth Engineering for the $10 super chat to help grow the nation. He says, for the love of God, please add barbecue meat sizzling sound effect. Too much heat on that barbecue tonight. Get them likes up. Yep, we got 165 in house. Get the likes up. Support realness. What they're trying to do to the Ball family. I was going to be a little PC today, but I like being myself. They're trying to buck break the Ball Bros and Lavar Ball. They're trying every single attempt. And the only people that can see it is the one that understands what a family dynamic is. They want his kids to hate their father. They want them to rebel. Remember that article they posted about Lonzo wanting to be his own man?
Yep.
They posted that every single day. They did it because they want the message to be loyal son disbands away from father. They hate when a black man speaks for his kids, like Tiger Woods' father, Earl Woods, God rest his soul, like Serena and Venus Williams' father, who was a man that was very confident. He will always tell the competition, your kids can't beat my daughters. Who would tell the international competition, your kids do not have what it takes to beat my daughters. They thought he was crazy. Shout out to Richard Williams. And it took Nike and any other sponsor company, they shut it up, Richard Williams. They're trying to do the same thing with LaVar Ball. Serena and Richard Williams used to have such a close relationship. Unfortunately, the sister allowed the negative forces to cloud her judgment. This is what they're trying to do with the Ball Bros. The good thing about LaMelo, as LaMelo is taking the lead by storm, he hasn't forgot where he came from, and he hasn't forgot who he's playing for. He's playing for his family, and the name behind his jersey. This was the most disrespected number 3 overall pick I've seen in a while. Couldn't get his own number. When the
Go ahead
last
and talk,
time?
brother.
When
Go ahead and talk.
the last time you heard a number 3 overall pick can't even get his number? Don't worry, I'll wait. Can't even start, having a 5'11" midget starting over him. Got a coach starting at first. Remember, he would overly critique LaMelo, but barely say anything about Devontae Graham. And no, this is not a Devontae Graham versus LaMelo point, but I'm telling you the politics of the NBA. It's a dark force, man. We see the glitz and the glamour of the NBA. We see the dunks, brothers putting on the show, but what you don't see is behind the scenes. They're mentally, game by game, day by day, trying to emasculate and mentally buck break LaMelo and company. So far, LaMelo has so much dog in him that he's not going to allow them to punk his family out. Shout out to Jermaine Jackson, who has been holding it down and gave LaMelo a beacon of light. You can't do this alone when you want to create change. You need some dogs behind you, and Jermaine is a real one. He's from Detroit. He was a journeyman in the NBA, and he earned everything. Shout out to new media, man. We ain't going nowhere. And remember what I said on my show, the other show. The only people that hate this show right here, it's not people that look different than us. It'd be the same people. Look at Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. They were pulling out some of the most buffoonish shit on TV. LaMelo, I don't think he'll make it. Even if he gets drafted, he won't make it because his father's so loud. Yeah, man, Lavar ruined his life. That's the stuff they was talking about. They're programmed just like ESPN. I don't want to ever hear about them being real. Oh, they from PA, Texas, man. Matt Barnes from Cali. They some real dudes. No, they not real. They're corporate. You can act all tough as you want. But when the going gets tough, are you going to ride for the cause? Or are you going to just be in the way? The choice is yours.
Brother Wealth Engineer, you're absolutely right. You're talking about on draft night where every other lottery pick got an interview, but LaMelo did not get an interview because they were, quote unquote, having technical difficulties. Now, I've seen drafts where they've had technical difficulties and they have to skip a player's interview. And what they do is, after they interview the next player and they fix whatever, quote unquote, technical difficulties they're having, they go and interview that player that didn't get interviewed. As much highlights as they show of LaMelo Ball, as much clickbait they use with his name, because all of the major old media YouTubes are doing it now. All of them. So if you're doing it for clicks, then why wouldn't you want an interview with the most popular guy in the draft? I'm going to tell you why you won't want it. Because you got his mother who's recovering from a stroke, who's held that family down, that's still with that black man sitting right there. You've got Lavar Ball sitting right next to LaMelo Ball. Behind him, you got Jermaine Jackson. You got his brothers in the room. You got his family from Compton in the room. You got all of these people in here supporting him. And most importantly, you have Lavar Ball. And you know that he has a hat on that says, I told you so. So you don't want to show our children, you don't want to show our community that you can do it against all odds. You don't have to play the game like it's played and still say it out loud, stand up proud, and still get what you need to get without bow downing and kowtowing. That's what it was. It wasn't no technical difficulty. These are the kind of games that they play. These are the kind of games that they play. I'm not going to put any smut on my brother Jermaine Jackson's name. I'm not going to do that because there's some things about Jermaine Jackson that you may not know. We're going to leave that right there. I'm not going to put no smut on my brother Lavar Ball's name. I'm not going to put no smut on even any of these brothers that's currently playing right now. Because I understand, and I don't always agree with Kyrie Irving, but I'm not going to say anything negative about this brother tonight because I understand how hard it is to be a pawn in a chess game. I'm going to say that one more time. I understand how hard it is to be a pawn in a chess game. I remember when I got invited to 5-star basketball camp. For those of y'all who don't know what that is, it may not be relevant anymore, but in the 90s, it was the gateway to ABCD camp. It was the gateway to the Nike camp. And if you didn't go to these camps, you could not be ranked in the nation. You could not be ranked in the nation. I remember seeing brothers from my neighborhood or seeing brothers who had been to 3 of the major camps and refused to go to the 4th get blackballed from the NBA. This is a fact. Now, if they're that petty on the big 4 circuit camps that takes you to the McDonald's All-American game where they're making money off of all of these athletes, not just black, the majority are black, they're making money off these athletes, then they tell them when they go to the NCAA and they're starving, if they sell weed, they're out of school. If they get it how they live, they're going to get kicked out. Oh, and if you get a kid to sign your jersey that you're making marketable, we're going to kick you out. Lavar Ball said to hell with that. He could have been like a lot of athlete parents, which is, I'm just going to raise my boys. They already got the quote-unquote American complexion for protection. I'm just going to raise my boys to be athletes. We're just going to sign with Nike when Lonzo comes out of college, and we're going to play this thing. If he would have played it that way, LaMelo would be on Golden State right now because his look already fits the image of the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors always want their league guy to look a certain way. That's why when you had Kevin Durant there, and he's clearly the best player on the team, and this is no snub at Steph Curry. He's clearly the best player on the team. This is Steph's team. So if LaVar would have played it that route, like so many brothers do, Lonzo could have struggled for 5 years. We would have never heard anything about it. And when LaMelo came into the league, it would have been justification for the entire family. But no, LaVar Ball, like DJ said, has a ruling mentality. So he was planning this for years. You know how much hard work and dedication it takes to walk up to a woman in college and say, I don't know what we gonna do, but we gonna do something great. That gamer Dante, shout out to you. Dwayne Wade won a championship in Miami. We're gonna shut this down real quick. Dwayne Wade won a championship in Miami. You said it was Steph's team because he'd been there for years, laughing. Well, Dwayne Wade won a championship in Miami. When LeBron came, the next year that was his team. The team is always the best players team. Doesn't matter how long you've been there. Ask D Wade. So I'm not going to get off track anymore. Let me get out of the comments. With that being said, LaVar had a plan to empower his family for generations and to not let his children be pimped out by the system. But see, this is what old media did, DJ. Instead of shining a light on the truth, which is that they are pimping these kids, they tried to make it seem like LaVar was pimping his. What you think about that, brother?
Wow. The same people that's cool with NCAA pimping out kids, NBA pimping out players. If a player is signed to another shoe brand, they still got to wear the apparel of the team's shoe brand company. They're a bunch of liars and hypocrites. And what's glaring enough, these politic things, people will say, no, you guys are just over exaggerating. There's no politics. It's just how it goes. No, it is politics. Brother, if you don't mind, let me read the ESPN rankings. I gave a ranking that was 24/7 sports, but let me tell you the players that were ranked over LaMelo.
Go ahead, brother.
So I'm going to start with number 1, right? Number 1, James Wiseman. Number 2, Cole Anthony. Number 3, Isaiah Stewart. Number 4, Anthony Edwards. Number 5, RJ Hampton. Number 6, Vernon Carey Jr. Number 7, Jaden McDaniels. Number 8, Josh Green. Number 9, Nico Mannion was ranked over LaMelo. Number 10, Scotty Lewis. Number 11, Matthew Hurt. Number 12, Khalil Whitney. He was undrafted, and he's playing on the Hornets G League team, by the way. Number 13, Tyrese Maxey. Number 14, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Number 15, Brian Antoine. Number 16, Isaiah Mobley. Number 17, Precious Achiuwa. Number 18, Armando Bacot. Number 19, Trendon Watford. Number 20, Big O. And number 21, LaMelo Ball. Absolutely disrespectful. And you're going to put Nico Mannion, who's in the G League, over LaMelo, a couple of guys that are barely playing in college. If this is not politics, what is it? It's politics, it's politics. And this is making LaMelo Ball the strongest mentally in the NBA. Name a kid that has been through, right now, name a kid that's been through what LaMelo has been to. The ridicule. He gets treated like an adult. They're nitpicking how he speaks. He gives one-word answers because he doesn't trust the media. And now the media is trying to flip it to act like he's a dumb kid, where he's further from that. Shout out to Big J. Let's talk for the $5 super chat to help grow the nation. He said in support of new media. That's right. Man, I'm telling you, when new media gets big time, it's over. You may think it's arrogance, but I'm talking my ish today. Adam Hearn for the 619 super chat to help grow the nation. He says the same Warriors ownership that fired Mark Jackson and made sure he would get blackballed, better off not going there. They see Lavar as misogynist. Oh, I'm really going to go there. Watch out who use these words towards black men. I'm starting to realize that anytime a black man or even a black woman are outspoken, that demand respect, they throw out the word misogynist. How is Lavar misogynist when he treats his wife Tina like a queen? How is he misogynist when he makes sure his mother is taken care of? How is he a misogynist when he made sure that the women's center in Compton, California had enough food and clothes? Please explain that to me.
I wanna build upon what you're saying, brother, because they always use these things to I could get really, really deep right now. But the court of public opinion has replaced the 12 jurors in the courthouse. See, they don't need to convict you anymore in the court. If you get convicted by the court of public opinion, that gives them a mandate to do whatever they do to you. You know, they call Lavar a misogynist. They would say something like that and turn around on the day that Hugh Hefner dies and says he was a great man. How that work? How that work? But let's go deeper, DJ. Let's go deeper. I have a problem with brothers with platforms that don't use their platforms to speak the truth. That's just an issue that irks my soul. DJ said something that is so deep. He said, what we've been trained to do and to say are things like, Oh, well, that's just how it goes. I'm going to just tell you, bro, and DJ is my personal brother. That's just what it is. And I got brothers in my life that I rock with personally. If I ever meet a man in my circle and he tell me some sucker like, that's just the way it goes, bro, you need not never talk to me again. Because that would explain why you in the situation you in. No man should ever say a statement like that's the way it goes. I've seen people come on this channel and have pages on YouTube and they're speaking to you. They're your influencers from your community. And they will down talk Lavar, they will down talk LaMelo and say LaMelo just has to conform because that's the way it is. How can a woman look at you? How could a woman ever look at you as the head of a household and you speak with such weakness? I don't understand it.
Talk to him, Rev. Talk to him.
I don't understand it. You got a platform, you got subscribers, you got millions of your people viewing you monthly, or thousands of your people viewing you monthly, and you got a chance to speak against what you see on ESPN, and the only thing you can do as a parent is sit up there and say something like that's the way it is. They don't need to put chains on you. You already a slave. It ain't just rich sellouts. It's brothers that go and get YouTube channels and call themselves this and that and say the same thing that we hear on ESPN. They need to be held accountable, because when I was going through my research today, I found a lot of young teenagers that are trying to be YouTubers and are trying to be influencers. And all they do is mimic what they hear older people say. Now, I'm not critical on those young minds, because I understand if you don't have anything else out there to choose from that you know of, then you're only going to mimic what's above you. New media is not the place to come for what it is. That's just how it is. No, we're going to make it how it's supposed to be. And if we're not doing that, we're not doing our job. And there's no need for you to listen to us. But this is the reason why I started rocking with DJ. Weeks before I ever came on this panel, weeks before I ever commented, I heard this brother saying every time before he came on, the brother would say, peace and blessings to the Most High. The brother was speaking to us about strength. I wasn't worried about the subscribers. I wasn't worried about the accolades. I wasn't worried about if he played the old system game. I wanted to hear if this brother was courageous enough to speak to us and tell us what was really going on. If you go into a YouTube page and they telling you what you hearing on ESPN and they not breaking down the game within the game, what are you doing for yourself? That's why I rock with DJ. I'm not up here trying to get no channel. DJ knows what I do in my personal life, bro. I ain't trying to get no channel. I'm not trying to get no clout. I believe in this wholeheartedly. And what I saw today sickened me more than Rachel Nichols, because they've always sent that agent of chaos. I'm more disappointed in the brothers and the suckers like Stephen A. Smith. I'm not that brother to tell me he got to play that game and be that way. That's sucker, man. That's soft. Jason Williams. Guys like that regurgitate. He sat right on that panel and allowed that guy to call LaMelo arrogant. He allowed it. He didn't say one thing because he's so afraid for his job. Go ahead, DJ. My bad, brother.
No, you cooking, brother. And shout out to the Queen, Claudia Portia Taylor, for the $10 super chat to help grow the nation. Nation United, new media. She says, quote, you know, when BBB was at its peak, Nike and Adidas threatened shoe stores globally with withholding new releases if they allow BBB to have pop-up shops at their locations. I'm not surprised. They provided to give stores, like Rev would say, the complexion for protection. They did this so that a black business cannot grow. This is called international buck breaking. It's worldwide. The emasculation is deep. They want any other male to be mentally strong, but a brother, they don't want to be as strong. This is why I would never change. I would never stop being who I am. I would never stop giving back to brothers and sisters, providing a voice. they can never change who I am. And they can never change LaVar Ball. LaVar Ball, no matter what he say, and I don't want to hear about he's not perfect. We're all not perfect because we're human. The Most
Facts.
High made us this way to be imperfect. So when it's our time to go, all the sins that we carry and the burden of this evil world, we can have it all rectified. But as we're here in this world right now, people like LaVar, people like Rev, and many other brothers and sisters out there, they're fighting every day. They're trying to have strength. This is why we talk about it, man. When we talk about ownership, we mean that. Look at Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon sold out. And some people may say Nick Cannon did it to help his friends get a job, but did you know that Nick Cannon has so much money he could have created his own Wild and Out? He could have used YouTube channels and grow his platform, and people would have donated to him. Do he realize that? And shout out to Raider, new member of New Media, and make sure to join the channel because we get to 100, we will do unfiltered, uncut videos. And you think this show is good, but we do those uncut videos, man, it's gonna be on another level. Like Wealth Engineer said, ownership. But for some reason, Nick Cannon, he felt like he couldn't do it alone without the man. Y'all know who the man is. That is a beta male mentality. You got millions of dollars, power, and you still getting buck breaked by the same system. Pathetic.
You're telling it like it really is, brother. You're telling it like it really is. Let's continue to explore the rabbit hole. Truth be told, I've told y'all several times, my favorite player in the NBA in history was White Chocolate. My second favorite player, maybe tied for one, is Allen Iverson. Those are the guys that I molded my game off of. So what I'm about to say should be a testimony to what I'm saying, and I'm standing on it. I wasn't the biggest LeBron James fan when he was originally in Cleveland. His game didn't really translate to what I like to see. LeBron James was a 6'9", 6'8" freight train, athletically gifted, could get to the rack, but he didn't have like super duper handles, and he wasn't a great shooter. Y'all know when I started rocking with LeBron, you really want to know the truth? See, because a lot of y'all get caught up with teams. Oh, he played for my team. He played for my team. That translates in my mind differently. See, I don't get excited about plantations. You know, if somebody gets traded off to another plantations, that doesn't excite me. I started rocking with LeBron when I realized, hey, why they so mad because he decided to go to another team? Oh, let me look and see who his agent. Oh, his agent is his homeboy? His head of marketing is his homeboy? Well, I'm looking for certain people that are around these other athletes, and I don't see them around LeBron in his inner circle. It seems like these are a bunch of brothers that he's employed from his own community. Oh, that's why they're mad. Because he's pushing ownership, and he's telling whatever team he's on, yeah, if you want to keep me, you're going to have to earn me. Because my worth is me. My stock is me. From that moment, and I was young, but I remember, from that moment, when they burned LeBron's jersey and Dan Gilbert came out and basically was speaking like an owner and had to come out and apologize because he said some racist, insensitive statements. From that moment, I understood what the game was and where it was headed. They did not want to see players have control of their career. So after seeing LeBron do that, I started to research free agency. And then I found out about Kurt Flood, the African American brother that played for the Cardinals, who was the reason for free agency. And I said, any brother or sister that has a problem with a man taking his career into his own hands, I don't give a damn how he did it. They brainwashed people and told the man, oh, well, the decision was wrong. He owes Cleveland more. What? What? When his family grew up in poverty, he owed the city of Cleveland? No. I think y'all got that backwards. The city of Cleveland owes him and his mother who was struggling and the other people in the community. I know he's from Akron, but it's a 1,000 LeBron James without the talent in Cleveland that play basketball. So that's why I gravitated directly from Kurt Flood to LaVar Ball. Because when that brother came out and I heard him talking about pushing his own shoe and his own brand and keeping his boys together and keeping the family tight and not signing with Nike because they're trying to undersell him and starting the JBA and taking his sons overseas, I said, man, the same hate that LeBron got for doing something revolutionary and doing something that is taking his destiny into his own hands, they're about to give it to these boys. So I want to commend all three of these brothers. I want to commend Zoe. I want to commend Jello. If Jello never takes a shot in the NBA, he's a hero. And he's something to look up to and aspire to. Because when he had that incident in China, as all young people do, they tried to paint this boy, this man, like he had executed somebody. Same thing for LaMelo. When his father chose to take him to Lithuania, they tried to act like his father was just dropping him out of school with no plan for the future. And they said it was a stupid idea and it's not going to pan out. And he needs to be in school and he needs his education and he needs this and he needs that. But then turned around and lauded Luka Doncic, whose profession of basketball has been his profession since 15. That's the game they play, DJ.
It's a crazy game. And you guys remember I did a debate with a certain YouTuber. I'm going to give you a hint. We nickname him Coupon. You can figure out the rest. And we was talking about the Jello subject on this debate. He called Jello a kleptomaniac. Now, I was surprised, then I wasn't surprised. People who are on the fence of supporting brothers and sisters are like that person. And what I told him was, who are we to judge when we have done the same sins like everyone else? That's our problem. And it's not just white. It's not just Hispanic. But I see too much of our own people who are having this elitist complex that they're better than certain people. The uppity complex. Instead of supporting our own, they're the same ones going back to Massa. I call it the Missy Ann Kizzy syndrome. As you know, if you watch Roots, Kizzy was so loyal to Missy Ann because Missy Ann taught her how to read.
Facts.
Missy Ann was a good white woman. She did her hair. She gave her the good food, a good blanket. Instead of hay, she was a good white girl. Guess what she did? When Missy Ann rejected to be her slave, not Missy Ann, but Kizzy rejected Missy Ann to be her slave because she wanted to be close to her family. What did Missy Ann do? She told a lie to her father. Kizzy got sold away from her family. So this is a lesson. Look at Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock was Captain Save a White Girl when LaVar Ball said, stay in your lane. Because Christine Leahy was trying to disrespect a black father. He's no longer working for Fox Sports 1. And now I heard he's not even working for Clay Travis's show. You could only Kizzy and Missy Ann so long for it to be caught up with you.
Wealth engineering, brother. I got to bring up your comment, man. I got to bring up your comment. You said the Django scene with Leonardo DiCaprio and the skull is deep. That's the whole punchline of the movie. The rest is sugar. The rest is stuff that can't really fill you up. The rest is fantasy. The rest is to cause an emotion inside of you to get you to react. No, but what Quentin Tarantino really believes is that dinner table scene. And for those of y'all who have not seen it, go look it up after this show. We got a lot of homework assignments tonight. Roz Kai Soul on Ice and that scene on Django with Leonardo DiCaprio with that skull. That is the point of the movie. And wealth engineering, you're absolutely right. That's truly what people who feel like they're supreme think. That's truly what they think. I don't even use that phrase supreme or the phrase that that most people talk about, because once you even accept that phrase, then you lose a bit of your manhood. I can never ever in my life even think like that, because once again we have to destroy this mentality in our community where it's okay to go along to get along, or that's just how it is. No warring, conquering people in the history of history have accepted that. No revolution was ever won with that weak ass mentality. Once you do that, like I heard a YouTuber, a big YouTuber, has a huge following. He had a lecture on teaching brothers that you have to basically assimilate and cut your hair to be successful in society. The reason why I rock with Lavar Ball is because he doesn't accept notions like that. Don't you understand that once you assimilate to another group of people that way, you've already beaten? When you can't be yourself, when you can't do the things the way that you want to do them, once you've assimilated to that level, they don't need change for you anymore. This is a deep show, and it was needed, and I'm glad that my brother had me on here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate him for everything he does. I appreciate him for telling the truth, because once again, man, this is hard to find. I'm not saying some channels don't do it, but a lot of channels don't do it. So when y'all see us constantly supporting LaMelo, constantly supporting Lonzo, constantly supporting Jello, constantly supporting Lavar, or when, I'm not going to go that deep, but when y'all see us doing that, just know we're doing it because we understand there's a game bigger than the game. LaMelo Lonzo might play 15, 20 years, but that time is going to end. But what their father tried to do, that story's never going away. It is never going away. So we can't undersell or undershoot this family. I'm looking at the Kings versus the Sixers right now. Lonzo and LaMelo will have a better line in history than any one of these players ever, because these players are just players. And soon enough, somebody else is going to replace them with their jersey number. Do you understand what I'm saying? Someone's going to replace, another buck is going to replace that player soon enough when that team is done with them with that jersey number. But what LaMelo and Lonzo did, and I mean Lonzo and LaMelo and Jello did, bro, that's gonna go down forever. Even if somebody tries to implement it or recreate it, we're always gonna remember the Big Baller brand. We're always gonna remember the names Lonzo. Jello ain't even in the league, and we know Jello. Same thing with LaMelo. So we gotta give these brothers their flowers, and every chance we get, when we see old media playing the same tactics, like DJ said, from slavery, we got to destroy that. And that's what new media is.
Right on, bro. Joey Roma says DJ and Rev need their own show on ESPN. No, I want to create my own show, my brother. And one of these days, we wouldn't have to use any other platform. It'll be a platform created from scratch. That's what I want to do. I have too much of a ruling class mentality to work for someone. ESPN cannot buy me. They cannot control me. They cannot control Rev. So I'd rather make 50,000 doing my own thing than make 5 million being someone's pawn. Now y'all may think I'm a fool. Y'all may think, oh, that's stupid. But good things happen when you control your own. You have more power. You can have vacation anytime you want. You're not on anyone's orders. You're free. And I want to live free, because if you live free, you live for a long time. So everyone who believes in new media, thank you for supporting the channel. To all the people who donate to the channel to help grow the nation, you are all appreciated. In these conversations, not too many YouTubers, definitely the ones who talk about sports, talk about these type of things. Not too many. We will be the avenue for that, because we are all a nation united. Peace and love to everybody. We will have shows at our standard time, 10:20 Pacific time. So on Mondays and Tuesdays, we will always do earlier shows. Wednesdays through Sundays will be standard time, 10:20 Pacific time. Any last words, Rev?
Nah, brother. The new media is up. We're here to stay. We have a huge family, everybody in here. All of the day one supporters, your family, your voices matter. All of our voices matter. We're not the channel where we have to tell people that we matter. We're going to show them. And with new media, that's what we're doing. Once again, peace and love to our brother DJ, the president, for having the vision to put this out there. And brother, I'm just ecstatic and elated to be a part of this.
Thank you, my brother. Let's keep pushing, man. Let's keep putting out this content, the raw content that everyone needs. All praise to the Most High. Peace and blessings. Let's roll.
Let me tell you something. Back in my day, let me show you.